East Podcast, WATP.
Opie is talking about the run that he had as a podcaster after leaving SiriusXM. He signed with Westwood One, their podcasting unit, and that was when we first started talking about Opie back in 2018. And when he started, he was on top.
When I first started the podcast, when it debuted, it was right behind Joe Rogan. I know that sounds crazy, but if you go back and look at the charts, when I first started the podcast, in the comedy podcast category, I was right below Joe Rogan. And of course it drops because there was interest at first, whatever.
So Joe Rogan didn't drop.
Right.
Joe Rogan drop?
He's still being talked about as a top podcaster. So Opie rightfully points out he was number 2. I remember when this came out, it was a big deal. Opie Radio, he's on the top. And so he says, now, of course, it's going to drop off a little bit. And I think that there is some truth to that when you're brand new, that's when the most people are checking it out and figuring it out. And not everybody's going to stick with you. But if you debut at number 2, you should be in the top 100 a year later, I would imagine. Maybe top 50 in 5 weeks. Let's find out why this happened to Opie.
Ever. But I was off to a great start, and we were doing really, really well, and the numbers were really, really good, and the advertisers were really, really good. And then Carl and Vic died within 6 months of each other, and and then at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to turn this on in the morning because I still like doing it. I got a decent GoPro. I got some decent views. Finally got a mic. Hey, this is what I want to do.
Okay, those are his decent views. That's great.
I know when he's talking about views, he's talking about behind him, by the way, decent views. But there couldn't be a bigger disconnect between the words he's saying and the way he's saying them.
Oh, completely.
I mean, my friends died, and that's why my show tanked. It would have been amazing if my friends died.
I still like doing this.
I still love doing this. What I want to be doing.
And be nice to me. I'm in mourning. I'm mourning.
Yes.
That's why I'm all black.
Right. Yeah. Very much looking for some sympathy, but also just always has an excuse for all these things. The advertisers weren't good. The show was not good. You go back to all the old WATP. Somebody might have posted it up on YouTube, WATP versus Opie. I think was that guy who does that for us. Sex Pest.
Stuttering Sex Pest.
Stuttering Sex Pest.
Yes.
That's it. I think he might have done that.
He's the hero we deserve.
The show is not good, but he's acting like, no, the reason's because I lost my co-hosts. And now he even admits that it's low effort now too. I mean, it's always been low effort, but at least he would do things. Now he doesn't even do things. Well, he does walk around New York. We'll talk about that. But this just makes me sad for this guy.
If it turns out into anything else, great. But my goal isn't to, to put a whole bunch of money into a studio and hope that I could relive the dream that I already lived. So that's why.
Wait, why are you doing this? He can't explain it to us. This is like a job interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know, man. I already had a great job before this.
What's with all the questions? No one asked him anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
He's explaining himself.
He's just explaining why he sucks now.
He's always explaining what the show isn't and what expectations we should be tempering. He never says what it is or what he's doing.
He's directionless. And now he's starting to get to a point where the people who are engaging with him are hate watching him a lot. Because for a while there, he had the pod squad and everyone was having fun and we were all checking in with each other and shout outs and, hey, did you go fishing yesterday? Yeah, all that kind of fun stuff. But now people are calling him out and he does not like that. You might notice the way that Opie's lit. Hopefully that's the reason. His mouth looks like it's black, like maybe he's got chewing tobacco or something's going on. Someone else has another observation about it.
Why is my mouth blue? My mouth's not blue. Oh my God, it's not blue. It might be the lighting or something. I'm kind of in the shadows right now. My mouth's not blue, you weirdo. All right, I gotta go. Hit the like on the way out if you gave me a few bucks. I don't. Stop with the dumb crap. I don't drink wine, Ryan.
It's Blue
Matter of
Chew.
fact, that'll get you a ban.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even drink that much, so you got to go. Goodbye.
Wow.
Goodbye. Wine stains. No, I don't drink wine. I literally have 2 beers a week, you weirdo.
You know, if someone was in my chat going, Carl, how much meth did you smoke yesterday? I wouldn't be like, yeah, I don't smoke meth. You're banned. You know, it's like that close to home or something. Why does he have to ban the guy for that?
I had no idea that he had a drinking problem until right now.
Now we know.
We do, and it's real, and that's why his lips are like that, and it does explain a lot, doesn't it?
Seemed like an overreaction for Opie on that one. I think everything's getting to him. Here's another episode where people are pissing him off.
You know, I'm going to ban Opie's grandmother today. Goodbye. Goodbye.
It was probably his real grandmother.
But Opie.
You don't have the fans to spare, Opie.
I know, and he's going through and just banning people now. You might want to get a mod or something so they can do that on the sly, the DL.
He just got a mic. Now I need a mod.
Yeah, people are just fucking with him with the things. I mean, this has been happening for a while, but
Super chat, excuse me, get out of here. E-Rock is posting the entire Jim versus Opie video today on X. Will you watch it today? No, I think it's already on my channel or it's already out there. No. The time me and Jimmy fought on the radio, it's out there already. It's been out there for many, many years. Detroit Dabbler, $1.99. You should team up with Carl and get better numbers. Oh, God, no. God, no.
I'm not offended.
JFK. Opie, the low levelers are picking on you because
It was a
Stuttering John
great
broke
rebuttal,
out.
though.
It is on highly successful multi-state comedy tour. John is killing. All right, thank you, JFK. I'm gonna go. This is just too much nonsense.
He's got to take his ball and go home now. People are messing with him too much.
Why would he have that kind of response? What if somebody was like, Anthony, Grillo's got a book out. Okay, goodbye. I don't care. Ooh, fuck you. Like,
Right.
what?
It's so
Just
weird.
letting you know that's your world. Why are you pretending to not be in it?
Yep, that's a good point. And we're going to talk more about this video that just came to light. That was the famous Opie and Jim Norton fight with Esther Koo in studio that was referenced there because Opie's acting like that's been out there for a while. And yeah, the audio's been out there, but now there's video and you can see everyone's reactions to it. And
just saw this.
posture and
It's fascinating.
it is fascinating. More on that in just a minute. First, let's talk more about people fucking with Opie in the chat.
Let's grab a tenner. Rick from New York, $9.99. E-Rock was on Carl's show. He said Anthony told him you said you gave out E-Rock's phone number over the air on purpose. Anthony confirmed, said you called it great radio. Yeah, that's not true. But thanks for your $9.99. Believe what you have to. I felt insanely guilty about that. It's not true. The lies. Yeah. Oh man, we went 7 minutes without talking about Anthony or any of the garbage from the past. That's just simply not true. E-Rock was on I think he was on his honeymoon, and oh no, that was a different time. No, I did not give out E-Rock's number on purpose. Yeah, I felt very, very bad about that.
So, right, that was a lie that someone told Opie to get him to think that all that happened with E-Rock and Anthony and me, and everyone's trying to paint this picture of Opie that isn't true. And he reads that and he thinks that it must be what people are saying. So then he gets mad at E-Rock and Anthony for doing things they never did because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
They're spinning everything. Their goal is to make it look like I was the worst person on earth. Their goal is to make people believe that I was useless on the Opie and Anthony show. Whatever. But believe what you have to. But that's a flat out lie, and E-Rock knows it. If he would calm the F down and start thinking about the past a little better. No, yeah, it was great radio, but I also felt incredibly guilty.
If E-Rock would calm down. It's crazy to me that Opie comes on and is just like, yeah, Anthony and E-Rock, they're trashing me. If he ever listened to Anthony on the show or E-Rock on the show or Anthony on his show or E-Rock on other people's shows, they really don't trash Opie. No. They tell you their experience and they often offer advice.
And with the coolest demeanor.
Right.
I can't imagine E-Rock upset what that would look like.
Correct. He's not changing stories and getting hyped up to like trash Opie.
And if you were doing a good job every day on your show, Opie, then you could just disprove them. If they were making these accusations about you or trying to tarnish your legacy and your life's work, you could just put on a good show and prove everybody wrong. I wouldn't know if they're telling the truth unless you showed me every day, like you do. Now I know for certain that you
Right.
you were load bearing, Opie. You were not carrying this thing.
Well, that's because he wasn't doing what he does best, and that is walking around Manhattan, filming things and commenting on them. And not only does he do that on the Opie Unleashed stream, but then when he has a really good one, he tells you about it on this show to let you know what you're missing out on.
You got to watch my walking around New York City videos. And then a really nice black SUV pulls up, and this blonde woman gets out with some people. It was obvious that she was a very important person. And I said, that's Amy Schumer. Oh, my God, that's Amy Schumer. And Don, no, it wasn't Amy Schumer. I was saying that because she was a big lady. It was Amy Bloomer. No, it wasn't her. I just said that because the lady that was getting out of the SUV was a bit on the chunky side.
Uh-huh. Pretty good stuff, huh? Imagine if you were there watching that when that happened. Holy shit.
So funny he said it twice.
Yeah. So guys,
Has she responded yet? Has she made a comment or?
It actually wasn't Amy Schumer, though. I don't know if you understood, Adam, what Opie was doing there. He was calling another fat woman out that wasn't that fat woman. It was a different fat woman.
He's like New York entertainment royalty living in the top of a penthouse in Midtown, whose day sounds like a tourist from Alaska visiting Times Square. How was your day? I think we saw Amy Schumer. That wasn't her. It might have been. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Woo, what a day.
I went to the place where they filmed Ghostbusters. They kicked me out. I wasn't allowed to be in there at the time.
I had an interaction with a homeless person that didn't go well.
Right. I saw a 9/11 memorial and I shit all over it.
Why is working on your show ahead of time not an option? You would not be a slave every 7 minutes to these things you can't stand and ruin your life if you just came up with a show. Why is that not an option? Why can't you try?
He says something here that he has said the opposite of this before, but I think this is what he really feels, because you wouldn't say this out loud if this isn't what you really thought.
Okay, people, remember, if not for GH, Ant and Jim would not have a career, so let's move on. It's as simple as that, Ralph P.
So if not for Greg Hughes, Opie, then Jim Norton and Anthony Cumia would not have careers. And Opie agrees with this wholeheartedly.
It's as simple as that. No one else hired Anthony and Jim Norton and many others that and love for the Opie and Anthony show. I saw talent in Anthony back in the day, and then I saw some talent in Jim Norton back in the day. So you're 100% right.
This goes back to what he was saying about E-Rock, where he's like, I gave E-Rock his career. He would be nowhere if it weren't for me. And then he explains the meeting where Eric was proactive to set up a meeting with him and then present him what he could do for his show and give him all this great stuff. And Opie went, oh, yeah, you're hired. It's like Jim Norton was also hired by The Tonight Show. He worked for Leno for a while. I mean, I don't have to go through Jim Norton's resumes, but on tons of shows and in movies. It's like other people recognize his talent. It wasn't just you. Anthony Cumia was on the Howard Stern show doing the Jackie Martling impression contest, and they loved him. And then they're like, but he does a radio show already with guys who are trying to be you, Howard. But if that hadn't been the case, I'm guessing he could have been a regular on there. I mean, Sal the stockbroker ended up getting a job. So I'm pretty sure Anthony would have been snatched up at a certain point, or whatever. He would have found his way. Like all these guys, I've hired tons of people to work for me at agencies, and never once did I think like that person would be homeless if I didn't hire them. No, they're talented. That's why I hired them in the first place. Someone else would have snatched them up if I hadn't.
No, you got to get in there and you got to remind them every chance you get. You got to tell them.
Yes, I made you.
It means nothing when you hear somebody say, that guy, that talented guy, taught him everything he knows.
Right.
You go, okay. You don't really care. But when someone says, that guy taught me everything. I owe it all to him. It means something. And if you wouldn't sit here trying to take credit for stuff that's not yours, people might throw you a bone and acknowledge that you helped their career. Or, I know this sounds crazy, Opie, you could do it again.
Well, yeah, I was just going to bring up, if Opie's hires were Patrice and Jim Norton and Anthony Cumia, he could sit there and be like, I know talent. I get this better than most people. And you'd be like, yeah, man, good for you. But then it turned into Vic Henley and Sherrod Small and Ron the Waiter. And you're just like, okay, so you just got lucky a few times. I get it.
We all watched Rocco go from, live streaming DabbleCon to a successful show that does way better than Opie does.
Yes.
Opie's eye for talent had Rocco and Cardiff and OJ begging to be on his show, and they worked their way in. It was the best thing he'd ever done, and he vowed never to work with them again. That's his eye for talent. If you would have hung on to either of them, you would have something resembling an impression of a career.
And you should go back to them. I think they want to get back on your show, Opie.
That'd be the best.
You guys would have a blast.
So good.
So, so continue attacking the guy that actually brought you those people into your lives. Yeah, that's smart. Ralph P., I like how you think, sir. Look at that. And a little Zen for everybody. A little Zen.
Is that the opposite of Zen? Explaining you're the reason why someone is successful in life because you hired them.
You know what, Ralph? You're not blocked.
Hubris.
That wasn't even a super chat. He just had to put that up. And who knows if Ralph P. is a fan. He's probably saying this sarcastically to get Opie to agree with him. Mm-hmm. Because I swear I saw Opie just saying recently, he's just like, look, and I know they would have been successful without me. It's like, just depending on what inputs he gets, it's a different output.
Yeah, right.
It's weird.
Watch this, honey. I can make Opie say cheers.
Yeah, right. He really could. He has no control over his show or his life. We're proving that. Now, what he doesn't do is let his guard down and talk about his family. And I'm excited to say we finally get a glimpse into the home life of one Greg Hughes. Now, he got into a bad accident last September where he broke some ribs and deep bone bruises. There's a whole thing. And so he hasn't been on his scooter in a while. Well, he just got his scooter again. And he's a little nervous about getting hurt again. So he bought a helmet. So he's Kevin Brennaning around New York City. And he tells this anecdote.
Yeah. I picked up a helmet and I look like the biggest dork. I should wear the helmet on the live stream so you could see that I look like a dork. And it's one of the reasons I told my wife when I came home, I walked in the house with my new helmet. And of course, it got exactly what I was hoping. A lot of laughs from my family. They were laughing their asses off. And then my wife's like, what is wrong with your head?
So we finally hear about what's going on with him as a father. And it's the whole family pointing and laughing at what a dork he is.
That's what he wanted, huh?
It's actually a step up from his family's last appearance of, we need the debit card. Get out of the car.
Yeah, who could forget that?
Dad, we appreciate you leaving us alone in Costco, but now we're going to need you to come back in so that we can get all this shit.
And he's telling us about a funny visual.
Yeah, I know.
Opie, come on, man.
All right, let's talk about this fight he had with Jim Norton. The video just came out, and people are letting him know that this is what's going on.
Did you know that the video of your fight with Jim Norton was out there? It's been out there for many years. So, all right. It's the actual video footage of your fight with Jimmy, not just the audio. Kyle, I know.
So this is Unique who's messaging him here and letting him know, no, this is different than what's been out there before.
Fucking video's been out there. This is one of these weirdos that just is a nosy, just a nosy one that just clips shit and talks about people. God, you guys are weird. The Jimmy fight's been out there for many years.
So Opie is claiming, even though multiple people are telling him, no, this is a brand new thing that just came out. Finally, he gets corrected.
The audio has been out for years, but never the visual. Just popped up in the last 24 hours. All right, whatever. Dude, whatever. Yeah, I fought Jimmy a million years ago. I think Jimmy's a piece of garbage. I think he's incredibly vindictive. He would sabotage the Opie and Anthony show when he was having a bad day or if someone did him wrong. So enjoy the stupid fight from many years ago. I don't give a crap. I'm just glad I don't have to see his stupid face every day.
Jesus.
Isn't that great?
What a child.
Yeah, I know. Instead of just being like, oh, okay, so there is a video. I thought it was always on. I didn't know that was
Stupid face.
I don't want to see stupid face anymore.
I know he doesn't care.
Right.
But if he did,
Yeah.
can't you just say, yeah, it wasn't my best day?
Right.
And then people will be like, oh, he's human.
I would have done things differently. I bet Jim would tell you he would have done things differently.
Yeah.
We worked closely together and we clashed.
He's still trying to win that fight.
Right.
Carl, who does he think he's talking to? Like, who does he think this audience is? He thinks this is O&A fans that are not supporters of Anthony and only like him. Is that who he thinks he's talking to?
I think he's actively fighting with the haters right now. Doesn't it seem that way?
That's all it seems like. Who does he think this audience is? Like, the O&A pool is only so big to begin with. You think you have enough that like you to just block them? Like,
yeah,
this is your audience. Even if they're the haters, this is it. There's no one outside of O&A that's just stumbling onto your YouTube.
Don't tell him that. God, he's going to quit. Don't tell him that.
Oh, okay.
He's got tons of fans. They love and support him. Come on.
It's coming down the pike. $500,000 a year coming down
Any minute now. That offer's coming.
Just hold on.
So this is the video that everyone's talking about. I have very exciting news about this.
From
Hello
your
on
end.
the air.
I don't feel comfortable around you. I don't feel like,
But why?
like you give a fuck about me.
Then why don't, again, when I called you 2 weeks ago and I go, or I text you, I'm like, is everything cool? And you're like, yeah, everything's cool.
and it was, and we discussed it, and then the last last 4 weeks have been weird again. So I don't know why.
Well, maybe this one's on you, dude. Maybe hold on. Maybe you're feeling. You
Jimmy,
just said I feel like
Jimmy,
I don't give a fuck about you.
But it can't always be on me. You don't.
You just
are you trying to
said-
tell me you don't come in here with your own fucking moods?
Most of my moods have every time I walk in here in the morning. If I have a mood,
It's
it has-
obvious to everyone, and
Okay, so this is Opie, no self-awareness at all. This is the Greg Shells thing that Anthony told the world about. And this is the fight that they're having where Opie was in a shitty mood, doesn't even acknowledge Jim when he comes into the studio. And then they have to start a show together and have this rapport and try to have some chemistry. And Jim's pointing out, like, dude, can we just connect a little bit so that this isn't so difficult to be on a radio show together? And Opie's response is, I think it's your fault. I think this is on you, asshole. Anyway, we're going to break all this down on a bonus show. I'm very excited to do a WATP bonus episode breaking down all of the fight between Jim and Opie and analyzing this body language and how
He
dismissive
just said right
Opie
there,
is.
right there. He was like, can you just consider that in this specific instance, you're at fault? Oh, so I'm always at fault. I don't even know whose voice I'm doing anymore. They're all the same person.
They all sound like my exes.
No, he fights like a child or a woman.
Yeah.
That's not going to offend anyone, right?
You have to put that chocolate down. Oh, so I can't eat anything ever. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I guess it's like, is this on 0 calories then? Okay, fine.
Who are these podcasts?